Keith, let me throw a few comments at you that are Celtic based. Parkhead Boy, who's watching live on YouTube, is feeling very confident. Celtic will win comfortably on Wednesday with more space. He says, what a fantastic time to be a Celtic fan, 50 years old and loving it. However, he appears to be in a minority because a lot of the comments we've had are probably rather worried after yesterday's game. David Bryce, Celtic limped through to the next round with another woeful performance against Killie. The team are horrendous watch, have absolutely no style. I've never seen us as poor up front in all the years watching Celtic. And Alistair Johnson, he's dropped ASAP. If we perform like that against Young Boys on Wednesday, we will lose comfortably.
Wow.
Sean Dolan as well. The ongoing inane rhetoric of just a slip-up, a blip by Celtic is getting tired. These are not slip-ups and blips. It's poor, sloppy play, and it's getting systemic. Any high press against Celtic is a winning strategy. They can't deal with it and revert to amateurish passing and lazy play. So,
that's very glass half empty approach. That, I mean, look, I said it, and I repeat, and I think that Brendan Rodgers didn't particularly enjoy it. But I've said there's been a sort of a mini wobble halfway through this season. I think that Celtic got up to full speed, 100-mile-an-hour stuff round about the start of November, and they've just tapered off a little bit since then. They're still more than adequate enough to keep clocking up the results, but the performance level, I just don't think is it was blow your socks off stuff round about the November time when they scudded 6 past Aberdeen in the League Cup semi-final, when they beat RB Leipzig. A terrific performance. And I just feel that they've not matched that. I don't think that they're going to have to match that level to get a win on Wednesday night. And I think that the win will take them through. And I think you have to be mindful of the fact, as Michael was saying there, that this has been a really intense period of the season. And you can't always be at the top of your game, especially when the games are coming so thick and so fast and so frequently over the period of December and January. Mm-hmm. But Celtic, do they have enough about them to get the win that they need against Young Boys of Bern? I have absolutely no doubts about it. And I also feel that, for Young Boys, this whole thing, this whole revamped tournament has been an absolute ordeal for them thus far. They can't wait to see the back of it. I think the stats say their domestic form is poor. They're sitting something like 9th in the Swiss League.
Yep.
Celtic will have more than enough in the tank. And by the way, do you know what? The sound of that Champions League music might just bring it back out of these players. It might just be the jolt that Celtic are needing right now. I think some people are being overcritical. I think Kilmarnock did give them a good game. I do get that, there is something in that if you press Celtic, you might get a bit of joy. We've seen that. That's what Rangers did in the 2 recent Old Firm matches, and I think in the second half yesterday against Kilmarnock were employing similar sort of tactics. They weren't backing off Celtic. They were trying to pin them in their own half, and yes, there were mistakes made. But more often than not, Celtic find a way, and I really think that they should go into Wednesday's game confident, but hoping that this is the one that kind of sends them back over the edge again in terms of confidence levels and performance levels. Because you know what an achievement if Celtic can get this job done and get themselves booked into the playoff rounds for the Champions League. It's a superb job. And even though I have pointed out that the draw has been brilliant, right? Because you're looking at the worst 3 teams out of the 32 in the expanded league. The worst 3 teams have all got 2 of them have already been to Celtic Park, and now Young Boys, it's their turn on Wednesday. So that's there's no doubt that that's been really helpful for Celtic. But you've still got to win the games. They've got 9 points on the board. 9 points is better than Manchester City, and it's better than Paris Saint-Germain. It's the same as Real Madrid. Yeah. So let's not underestimate the size of this achievement. And as I said, I'm fully expect to see Celtic get the job done on Wednesday.
Just before we move on from that, Keith, Roger Kennedy watching live on YouTube. Someone tell Keith football doesn't work that way. The teams who have beaten Young Boys are handy teams. Now, I'm only putting that up purely because I don't know if you remember back in November, Hearts played a team, I think they were called Unleaded Petrol or something, and you said there's is such a thing as an easy game in Europe.
Yeah,
This is an easy game. Hearts
yep.
will roll it, and they didn't.
Yeah. No, because Hearts made an absolute backside of it. That was as easy a game as they could have got, and they blew it. And that's all down to Hearts, I'm afraid.
But you don't see Celtic doing the same.
No. I think this will be a comfortable win.
For what it's worth as well, I completely agree. I think Celtic. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said I think the Champions League music will kind of jolt a few into action. I think that's why the players want to beat Celtic, don't they? They don't
It
come.
is, and it's why.
Worship.
And it's Brendan Rodgers on day one back in the job said that he was going to make Celtic competitive again on the big stage.
Yeah.
And I think there was a bit of rolling of eyes at that because, well, okay, Brendan, you tried that once before and it didn't work. Ange Postecoglou couldn't do it. So it was almost like this is the one card available for him to play, is that, Ange Postecoglou blew everybody away with his style of football and it was successful and it was complete domestic dominance. So what can you offer? What can you offer that Ange didn't? And I think that's why he went on, I want to make a difference. I want to make inroads into European competition. And you know what? As much as there might have been an element of eye rolling at the time when he said it, and yes, Celtic have got lucky with how the fixtures have fallen in this campaign, but he's so close now to delivering and getting Celtic in the next phase of this new look Champions League. That is a real top achievement.
Yep.
And it's so close now. They can almost touch it.